In this example, I'm going to compute profitability index, payback period, and discounted payback period in Excel using a very simple example. In this example, we have a project and the cost of financing this project is 8%. And we need 50,000 initial investment in order to undertake this project. And if we do so, then we will get cash flow for the next 5 years as follows, right? 15,000 year 1, 20,000, 20,000 in year 2 and 3, 10,000 in year 4, and 5,000 in year 5. So given this information, how do we compute this all profitability index, payback period, and discounted payback period? Let's see how we can do this in Excel. And for saving time, I have already input this information here. The cost of capital 8%. In column A, I have year from 0 to 1, and in column B we have all your cash flow, and we need to compute the profitability index, payback period, and discounted payback period, right? So in order to compute the profitability index, let's define very briefly what is profitability index. Profitability index is the ratio of the present value of all its future cash flows to the initial investment, right? So here, to begin with, we start with equal sign and we compute the present value of your future cash flows, right? So we use Excel's NPV function. So NPV, and here's your rate is the discount rate, 8%, comma, all the future value, because we want to compute the present value of future cash flow. So future cash flow means here the cash flow from year 1 to 5, right? So that's how we get the present value of future cash flow over the initial investment. The initial investment is negative 50,000. So if you just put that number, it becomes negative ratio. But we don't want the profitability index to be negative. Therefore, I'm going to write ABS, meaning absolute value of that 50,000, so that the ratio will be positive, right? So that's all we do. And if we do that, and the profitability index is 1.153. So this is a profitability index. Now let's compute the payback period. In order to compute the payback period, we need to know what is payback period. Payback period basically means how long does it take to get all your investment back. So for this project, you invest 50,000 and you get 15,000 back in year 1, 20,000 in year 2, 20,000 in year 3. So if you roughly calculate here, it does not take all 3 years, because in 3 years you're gonna get 55,000, right? 15 plus 20 plus 20, meaning in 3 years you're gonna get 50,000 and 55,000 back, but you initially invested 50,000. So it seems that it's gonna take 2 years and 2+ years to get all money back, right? So to compute that kind of exact number, we need the cumulative cash flow. So I'm gonna calculate cumulative CFS, means cumulative cash flows here, right? So how do we compute the cumulative cash flow? So for year 0, the cumulative cash flow is the same as the cash flow. For year 1, what you have to do is you have to add the cumulative cash flow from year 0 to cash flow of year 1. So that gives us the cumulative cash. Let me increase that font size, you can see it better. So that is the cumulative cash flow from year 1. To compute the cumulative cash flow for year 2, you have to add first year's cumulative cash flow to the cash flow of year 2. So this is how you compute the cumulative cash flow, and you can do this for all year, or you can grab the handle and drag it to the bottom, and it gives you the cumulative cash flow. And now see here, cumulative cash flow, all the numbers red in negative and the black is positive, right? So you need to know when the cumulative cash flow is changing from negative to positive. That means in between year 3 and 4, your cumulative cash flow is changing from negative to positive, right? That's why it seems like that the payback period is 2+ year, and to compute that, what you have to do is equals to, so you know it's gonna take 2 years plus something, right? So 2 years plus. So after 2 years, we have to recover 15,000, but in year three you're gonna get 20,000, right? So that's why you don't need all that 20,000. So some portion of 20,000 is required to recover all your investment. And how we do that? And equals to uh, ABS of the money you have to recover, which means 15,000, right? Over the cash you get in year three. So this is how you compute the payback period, which means, uh, again, there's a formatting issue here. I'm going to clear that format, and that means it's going to take 2.75 years to get that initial investment back, and this is our payback period. Now let's compute discounted payback period. In order to compute discounted payback period, we need additional two columns, one for discounted cash flow and another for discounted cumulative cash flow. So let's compute the discounted cash flow and discounted cumulative cash flow. So here I'm going to write discounted cash flows, right? Cash flows, and the next is discounted cumulative cash flows, right? So what does mean discounted cash flow? Discounted basically means these are the cash flows without discounting, right? If you discount them, what will be the cash flow? That is a discounted cash flow. So meaning all the future cash flow are computed in terms of what would be the cash flow in period zero, right? So for first year or year zero, the discounted cash flow is going to be the same. But for year one, what you have to do is the discounted cash flow would be the cash flow of year one over 1 plus your discount rate is 8%, right? 8%, and this is cash that you are getting after a period. And if you want to discount to a present time, then you need to put this power equals to 1, right? 1. So that is the present value of 15,000 you're going to get in year 1. And to compute the present value or discounted cash flow for year 2, what you have to do is again second year cash flow over 1 plus the discount rate, and this is the cash coming to you after 2 years, so you want to discount it by 2 periods, so the power has to be the 2, right? So by doing this, you can find the present value of the cash flow you're going to get in year 2. And here, to compute for the rest, you can do one by one, or you can drag the formula. But keep in mind, when you drag the formula, you have to make that your discount rate is constant by putting $sign. So constant, and once you do that, and you get the present value of your future cash flows, right? Yes. So these are our present value of our future cash flows. Now to compute the discounted cumulative cash flow, you calculate cumulative cash flow not based on cash flow but based on discounted cash flow like earlier. So cumulative cash flow for year 0 is going to be the same, right? For the next year, year 1, cumulative cash flow is going to be the cumulative cash flow for year 0 plus the discounted cash flow in year 1. Similarly, for next year 2, you have to add cumulative cash flow from year 1 to the discounted cash flow of year 2. By doing this, now you can grab the handle and drag it down, and you know this gives us the discounted cumulative cash flow. Again, now What is discounted payback period? Meaning how long does it take to recover your money back based on discounted cash flow, not based on the nominal cash flow, right? So looking at this example, it seems that you see here, you invested 50,000 and after year 1 you still need 36,111 to recover, and after year 2 you still need 18,964. So here you see the sign on the cumulative cash flow is going from negative to positive in year between 3 and 4, right? So that means based on discounted cash flow, it is going to take somehow 3 to 4 years. And to get that exact number, what you do is you start with equal sign and here's a 3 because you need 3 plus year, right? So you start with 3 and then plus, and now you have to find out the ratio. So in year after year 3 you still have to recover $3,088, but in year 4 you're gonna get 7,350.29, right? Meaning it doesn't take all that money to recover that. So what you have to do is, again, you have to use the ABS sign just to make that number uh, positive. So absolute value of whatever amount you have to recover over the next year's cash flow. So that is going to the cash discounted cash flow for year 4. So that's a D7, right? So if you do this, and again the dollar sign, again I'm going to change that format here. So it's a 3.42, right? So which means if you consider the time value of money aspect, right? So it's gonna take 3.42 years to recover your initial investment back. So this is how you compute a discounted payback period. And how do you make decision based on that? So based on profitability index, you compare the value of profitability index with 1, and if the value is more than 1, you take this investment project is profitable. As far as payback period and discounted payback period are concerned, it depends on your preference level. How quickly you want to get the money back. If you want the money back earlier than 2.75 years, then you would not take that under investment based on payback period. But if you don't care about the time of getting money back, you are okay to get the money back in 3 years, then you make that investment. Similarly, discounted payback period is 3.42. If you want money before 3.42 then years, then you would not make that investment. But if you are okay to get the money back in 3.42 years or later, then you'd make that investment. All right, thank you.